Welcome to a Football Friday. It is your morning minute from 5280 Sports Network. Shawn Drotar, Nate Lundy, thank you for being here. Getting ready for Broncos and Colts coming up a little over 48 hours from when we sit here recording this. And Shawn, it continues to be a discussion about the wide receivers. A couple other areas we need to talk about in this game, but let's start with wide receiver. I continue to say that if there's any doubt at all, Demaryius Thomas should not play. I'd rather have him healthy later in the year than in week 2, but I think it's probably a game-time decision, yes?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I don't think the Broncos should be risking Demaryius Thomas if he doesn't feel right, and you've gotten the impression from his own statements and watching him out at practice this week that he doesn't feel right. That said, I think it has to be a game-time decision, not only because you don't know how he'll feel, it is a couple days away, but also because you don't want to tip your hand and let Chuck Pagano and the Colts know Demaryius Thomas isn't going to be on the field. You want to go ahead and make them believe that right up until the last second if possible. So Thomas's potential absence, or even if he plays, we don't think he's going to be a huge part of the offense. Who else will be at anyone in the passing game, or is it all going to be about the run this week?
Well, I think what's interesting is you can actually turn the run into your passing game. We saw Detroit do that against the Colts with Amir Abdullah and Theo Riddick, which means if you take C.J. Anderson, you take Capri Bibbs, you take Devontae Booker, you've got running backs that can be dual threat, that can catch it out of the backfield. Remember, C.J. Anderson had 4 catches, including the touchdown in week 1 against Carolina. So we know that that's a possibility as well. You also could see Sunshine, a little Jordan Taylor in there. You could see Norwood in the mix as well. Cody Latimer's opportunity to shine. So while no one can replace Demaryius Thomas, I feel confident that they can actually get some folks out there from a receiving standpoint. Watch out for Virgil Green this week, especially you fantasy players. This is going to be a good week, I think, for the offense, regardless of whether Demaryius is out there or not. Now let's switch over to defense. I think as good as the defense is, as good as the no-fly zone is, Shawn, in week 1 against the Panthers, and yes, I know it's the Panthers and defending NFC champions, you saw the lack of Malik Jackson there in the middle and the lack of the interior rush. I think they're going to want to find a way to collapse that pocket on Andrew Luck, but they don't have it in the middle without Malik being here like they did last year.
No, not yet, and they are looking for a little bit more development. You'd like to think that over the course of the season, with the draft pick Adam Gotsis, very big body, guy that can play a little bit inside and outside as well, you'd like to think he can make an impact. I think we'll start seeing him take more snaps each successive week, and I think you're going to see that again this week. But you're absolutely right. We knew they could replace Danny Trevathan. They've done that with Todd Davis. We knew that they could replace David Bruton at times. They've done that with Justin Simmons. There is no one on this roster, as good as it is, that can replace Malik Jackson. And against a quarterback, again, not as mobile as Cam Newton, but plenty mobile in Andrew Luck, I think they are going to have to get consistent pressure because Luck is the kind of guy that can make plays happen long after that play is broken down.
And, of course, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge today the CU-Michigan battle coming up tomorrow at the Big House. Shawn, can we go from the miracle at Michigan to the good effort at Michigan tomorrow? What would you consider a win, even if it's not a W on the scoreboard?
Yeah, well, you look for a win, but I think for Colorado that is probably a bridge too far. You're looking at them to be competitive. That's all you're looking to do. Have it still be something of a competitive game in the fourth quarter. If you can keep it within, I think, 14 to 17 points, I think Colorado ought to be pretty happy with that effort. If you can keep it somehow within single digits, I think they'd have to be delighted. So this is an opportunity for Colorado to show that they are continually a program on the rise. Even with the loss, they can do that, but they just can't get blown out. And keep in mind, Michigan is a 20.5-point favorite.
I am not a fan of the idea of good losses or things like that, but I agree that, Shawn, if they can have a good showing, given where they have been, if this team were going at Michigan right now 2 or 3 years ago, but at least they're going in the right direction right now. It's a Football Friday. Make sure you get out and enjoy yours. If you're going to be out enjoying yourself with some friends, make sure you snag an Uber, get a designated driver or something. We want you back with us Monday morning when Shawn and I are back on Mile High Sports Radio at 7 a.m. to recap the Broncos and the Colts with you. For Shawn, I'm Nate. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.